Hey, everybody, I'm Rob Nelson, and the guy on my left in the picture, actually, he's on the right because he is far right, Judd Dunning. It's Rob and Judd talking smack over mac and cheese in 30 seconds. Okay. Hey, everybody. I'm Rob. This is Judd.
I am Judd. Thank you.
Judd, Rob, Judd. Let's let people know. You guys, this is an awesome thing. Judd's idea. He decided, Judd's a Trump supporter. He's a far-right fascist, neo-Nazi.
Right. Rob is a hard left progressive. I'm hiding as a centrist, but go ahead, Rob. Continue.
You can say worse. Come on. Is that the best you got, man?
Oh, it's coming. Don't worry.
And Judd's brilliant idea is that even people who disagree, and Judd and I don't disagree on everything, but he is a far right.
We're Americans. We're just talking. We're
American.
That's the whole point.
But what we can all agree on is food. So Judd decided we would do this every week over food. A nice short thing for you guys: politics, food, issues, and the food of choice today is
mac and cheese, baby.
Yes, baby.
The comfort food that we're going to eat all the way until November 4th.
Now, Judd, what are you offering? What's your food?
All right. So look, my favorite meal. I'm a vegan. I'm a California vegan. I wish it was sexy because I cared about animals, but I have bad stomach problems. So here you go. I'm eating Amy's vegan rice mac and cheese, and I'm telling you, man, no pain, no gain. Get Amy's mac and cheese. It tastes good.
Guys, go to your Walmart. I'm sure they got it stocked on the shelves. $10.99 a pack. Let me show you. How real Americans do it, baby. Velveeta. Huh?
No, come on, baby. You just missed your mom, or you actually chose Velveeta for its own reason?
Kraft and Velveeta are the two finest mac and cheeses ever made.
There is an art to mac and cheese, though. Mac and cheese is like, hey, I'm going to skip half of another meal. I might not have dessert or an extra beer. I'm going to eat mac and cheese.
Right.
You got to put some space on side, but it does make you feel good, man.
Right. It does. Judd, I want to talk about liars.
Okay.
I want to talk about liars because I feel like right now in this country, we got a lot of lying going on. And although I am the centrist, the lying is coming from the left right now. The lying is coming from the media. The lying is coming from the social media platforms, and it is all out lying.
Yeah. Okay, I agree. I mean, it's not only lying, it's repression, it's distortion, it's delusion. It's almost like a psych campaign from the CIA, right? I mean, that's how deep this has gotten. We've gotten into distortion wars and 24 media emergency attention. Like we grab people for a day and then we replace it with something else. And they forget what it is, even if it's false.
Yep. And I want to say, look, everybody lies. So let me show you guys something. Let me show you something here. So I'm talking to Judd, setting this show up, and I show him a picture where I grew up, my family homestead. Hey, B Crafty, can we see a picture of that beautiful family lake homestead, right? This is it. Look how beautiful is that, right? And I sent him that pic, and I have another pic of me on a boat. There, yeah. And Judd tells me, wow, it's pastoral, it's perfect. Man, that's like so beautiful. And I'm like, and he's like, and I get confused because it's clear he seems to be talking about the ocean because I'm by the ocean right now. And I'm like, what the heck? Judd has completely lied to me. He hasn't looked at the pictures. He's busy doing something else. He's never looked at these pictures. Okay, enough of my body on screen, Bruce. And Judd, I thought about it because I was like, you caught me lying. And I thought that's exactly what's happening right now with social media and a lot of the mainstream media on the left. They are subtly lying. They pretend not to lie. And then we catch them, except they don't admit they're lying. And we go, hey, wait. And I know lying is a nice word for this.
No. First of all, if we're going to start with lying.
And first of all, how about an apology?
Let's start with the fact that you call yourself an independent. Let's start there. We'll get to that later. I'm just kidding you, buddy. I love you. Rob's a splintered, amazing human being. And you connect with all views, but I am teasing you because some of your views last time on the show, Rob's like, hey, they're not fascists. They're not Nazis. We're like, could we have a new opener? So listen, man, let's talk about the lying event, first of all. Okay, so I'm with Rob. Let's go to this. I'm with Rob, and he's like, check out where I lived. Because I was asking about Wisconsin, where they had their family home. And so Rob's like, I'm by the water, and it's pumping surf here. I'm a surfer. So I'm like, holy cow. So I go down to Melbourne Beach, and I'm looking at the surf. And Rob sends me his pictures. And he's like, oh, don't you love where I live? And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's idyllic. But I was looking at the surf. So this is a good example of lying.
You know what? This obfuscated response, Judd Dunning, is exactly what I see in the media. You just talked for like 30 seconds and made no sense. You got me lost to Melbourne, the surf, the whole thing, that I kind of was shrouded from seeing the simple truth is you lied to me. You said I'm looking at your pictures and you didn't. And here's the thing.
Hey, I said idyllic because I know Wisconsin.
Hey, in the media today, and I want to just start. For me, my big issue right now, here's my one. This is my it. I'm a centrist. I'm fair. I don't like conspiracies. I think Twitter, Facebook, they're biased to liberals, but they're not actively trying to silence conservatives. And then the Hunter Biden piece comes out in the Post. And I'm like, wait a minute. Whoa. So, and these, by the way, and so many people are like, I know it happened, but I don't even know what it is. And that's what successfully happened here by repressing. Let me give the 60-second for those who don't know. The Hunter Biden computer has emails showing that he arranged for a meeting with his father, with the head of Burisma, who was being investigated. The whole Ukrainian thing that we impeached Trump for, that didn't happen, happened with Joe Biden. That's all you need to know. It happened. And here's the thing. If it didn't happen, the Biden campaign would have said these emails are false. They never said they're false, but because they were hacked, Twitter blocks the tweets, refuses to let them send it out, saying, we're not saying it's false. We're saying it was obtained unethically. And to this day, 5, 6, 7, 8 days later, they will not unblock the New York Post, the oldest newspaper in America's account, unless it removes the tweets of a story, which is what we impeached Trump for that he didn't do, that clearly Biden and his son did do because it was obtained. Like what? Suddenly you can't get information? Like that was the whole way we got Donald Trump for 3 years, was information that was leaked, unsourced. That was fine. But now, we can't do that. And it just hit my button, Judd. I was like, this is no longer a bias. This is premeditated. Keep down, because if the story is about, I know something happened with Twitter censoring, but I don't know what it is, Biden's chances of getting elected go up. And they want to elect Joe Biden. And that disgusts me and pisses me off. That's not what press or social media platforms should be doing. I'm done with my rant. It's your turn, Judd. I got wound up.
So thanks for coming to the show. That's all the time we have. I'm Judd Dunning. This is I'm just kidding. Yeah. Come on, man. This is our Unplugged show. So our goal here, ladies and gentlemen, is to take the passionato of Rob Nelson and unplug him with me, unplug him from my show with Loftus, right? So we're just talking like guys talk. And here's a great thing. We're from, well, you're not from the other side of the aisle, but on some issues you definitely are. So look, man, the bottom line is if this had been Trump's family, we'd be in impeachment 3.0, right? Because they've already relaunched another impeachment trial that failed, that bubbled up and came down and went away, right? So there's been 5 or 6 movements to remove the Trump presidency. We all know Electoral College, the Mueller, impeachment, racism, kids in cages. I mean, it continues to go on, but this is being passed over. They say that Joe is the least scrutinized candidate of all time. Isn't that interesting? Right now, I mean, here's what we're talking about with censorship. I was on your show about censorship with Michael. We're hiring people to try to fix that right now. We got another show coming out. It's good to be here, buddy. And by the way, I promise I will only lie to you when it relates to surf in the future. So I am a lying, racist, Republican, white. Right.
All Republicans are horrible, rotten liars.
I won't lie and live into my reputation just because I like Trump.
Judd, and we're keeping this short and fast. And obviously, as we get this going, people can interact with us. Obviously, we're talking about censorship. I want to talk a little with you, Judd. I want to ask you, because this is where I do have a problem. I feel like conservatives say they see everything as sort of a slant against them. And I just acknowledge that I think this is now like out of the box, right? But are you really
interference, Rob? This is electoral interference.
This is the Saints Rams game, championship game and the guy knocks him out of bounds and it's a full-on head dive and the refs are like, nothing happened, review it in New York, nothing happened. I mean, it doesn't get any more pass interference than this. But why are conservatives, I mean, there is a loud voice for conservatives in America. Are conservatives just not, why are they always saying we're being attacked? I mean, are they always being attacked? Is that really fair?
What do you mean? The conservatives always have the voice of being, I mean, come on, man. It's pretty obvious that when you've got media, when you've got Hollywood, when you've got education, basically distorting all the information about a fair and balanced mixture between the ideological left and right. I mean, yes, but it's not that they're being targeted just in this moment. It's an endemic problem in our society that all of our information dissemination systems are leaning left. So I think Trump's the best damn thing that ever happened to us, buddy, because he shook up the system with fake news and people are looking at different levels of the spectrum. They're coming out of the matrix. Let me say something about Biden, man. Look, this should be blowing up. It is amazing. And you know what? Twitter is repressing Alexander Hamilton's one of the oldest newspapers in the United States. You know, at the same time, YouTube did a massive purge of like 20 channels of people that we like. I mean, this is out of control. Section 230 of the American Decency and Communications Act and antitrust laws. Trump gets in the second time. Actually, I think he's going to pull us out of the UN, and I think he's going to cut down big tech. And this isn't about left or right. This is about you and me, buddy.
Yeah, I agree. Our voices. Although, again, part of what I'm saying is you guys on the far right tend to kind of feel like you're always being persecuted. I'm acknowledging, I'm acknowledging this is happening right now. I'm just saying it's sort of like the whole thing with the like investigation into the white, into the dossier and all that. And everyone's all pissed that they don't have more criminal charges. And it's sort of like, well, they probably didn't have, I mean, they shouldn't have had criminal charges on the other side against the Trump people. Maybe they just genuinely don't have really anything to have criminal charges.
You're an independent. So if you're an independent, what does it even matter what the opinions of the right or left are? I see where you're going with this conversation, but isn't it just about right or wrong? I mean, come on. It's about right or wrong. If Trump did something wrong, it would have come up in a $33 million collusion case, right?
I agree.
Everybody's eyes were on that, right?
I agree.
If Trump did something wrong, impeachment would have gone through, right?
I agree. And I want to be clear.
This is just wrong, man. Forget the right or the left. This is wrong. So what are we going to do to stop social media?
I want to be clear. The media has been out to get Trump for 3.5 years. They have conjured up I said from the beginning, you'll never find Russian collusion because it didn't happen. They couldn't collude with the Russians. They could barely get their campaign together. Yeah. He won as an outsider. I love all that. What I hate, Judd, is the Trump crowd keeps defending Trump for the things he has done wrong. He's done a horrible job. Let me finish. A horrible job at unifying the country. He's a great job at blasting at the institutions.
Obama was the unifier. Race relationships got worse. The nation got more polarized. Why are we being held by this standard today, saying Trump is this destructive force, when Obama was a radical ideologue who shut down 358 bills, something like that went through Congress, bipartisan approved, threw them onto Harry Reid's desk and buried the bills.
All right,
that guy was tearing down the nation. Suddenly Trump's white and he's being destroyed.
Look, let's be honest. Obama was a mediocre president. If you ask a lot of people in the black community, and I'm in Jacksonville doing this town hall, I get people all the time, activists who are, they're very pro-black, Black Lives Matter, the whole thing. And they're like, Obama didn't do anything for us. I'm not making it about Obama. I'm saying I don't like that neither side can acknowledge the weaknesses of their candidate. And I'm going to be honest. I was happy Trump got elected for the reasons you said, but it pisses me off that he still makes everything about him. It's like he can't come out and say, look, COVID's killing a lot of people. That doesn't mean we should bury our heads in the sand, but this is a horrible thing. And I feel for these people who died, and I got it. And I had the best treatment. And, not everyone can have that. He instead acts like, oh, see, it's not bad. It's not a big deal. Like it's like, what the, one doesn't have to be false for the other to be true. COVID's a horrible thing and it's a highly infectious disease, but we can't stop living our lives. So Gavin Newsom, open your state up because you're literally destroying your economy. Become like Florida, open it up, let people live.
Okay, man, but look, Scott, let's go back to the theme today. Scott Atlas was shut down. He was kicked off of Twitter. He was censored on Facebook and Twitter because he said that 70% of people who have COVID actually wear masks. He said 70% of the people that are sheltering are having problems. We're still, the disease is rolling forward. What's Trump's position? Fear or weakness? Look, man, 215,000 is three times our normal flu season. It's a horribly aggressive flu. The nation is getting crushed economically because of ideology. The guy is going for encourage and unity. Are you watching?
No, come on. See, this is my point. This is my point. Listen, see, here's the problem. I actually agree with you that I think the left is out to stop him. I think the Democrats are corrupt. I think the media is corrupt. And I think no president, I've said this from the start, no president would have been able to handle this pandemic very much differently. You didn't know when to shut down. He shut down as quick as he could once he realized how bad it was. Hold on. And you were making a horrible choice. Protect the most vulnerable or crush everybody else. We protected the most vulnerable for a while. And hold on. My only point is this. I agree with the substance, but the defense that Trump's done this great job. He's done a horrible job of communicating that. He always makes it like we're great. It's all past us. Instead of being like, look, why can't he just come out and say, look, there's no president who could have faced this situation easily. We literally had a horrible disease that required us to shut down the country till we knew what was going on. And now we're opening it back up and we are going to lose some lives, but we're going to save a lot more. He can't. He has to say we did everything great. It's great. And it's not that big.
Rob, this is, you know why? This is the reason. The reason he can't say that is because there's been illegal coups and legal attempts, 25th Amendment, impeachment, etc., to take this guy out of office. He's waiting to get across the line November 4th, which I'm telling you, so that he can actually act on it. He's so handcuffed. Everything is blown up.
Can you just
news? Are you watching any of his town halls? Are you listening to him direct? I don't hear.
Don't use the liberals' attempt when you want to prove someone wrong. Ask if they're listening or watching. Of course, I'm listening and watching. Of course I am. I am. But here's my point. You can't silence me by like trying to shame me. I do not believe that he is not, he's saying he's waiting to get over the finish line, which we started this out joking about telling the truth. Trump lies. He lies constantly.
Am I shaming you?
You were trying to.
No, I really wasn't. I was asking you.
Hold your mac and cheese up and I'll
let
me see that $50 whole mac and cheese. Huh?
I'm going to gain weight if you keep attacking me with such.
Here you go, Judd. Have a bite. Have a bite of the real stuff.
I'm telling you, man. If you can go to Amy's, I want to get a sponsor. If you go to Amy's vegan mac and cheese, you will never eat normal mac and cheese again. It's good. All right.
Vegan. Lefty vegan. No, not all vegans are lefties. No, here's all I'm saying. I don't think he is just waiting to get over the finish line. I think he's incapable of acknowledging that everything isn't great, that he's not the best. The minute somebody, look at the debates. I mean, Samantha Guthrie went after him. That was stupid. But why didn't he just step back and be like, you know what? I answered your question. I'm moving on. I'm not here to debate you. He has to insist she's wrong and you all go after me. He takes it like a child. You're a child with a cookie, a dog with a biscuit.
Okay, Rob, you're emphasizing personality, principles over personalities. Like I look at policy changes. I listened to the fact that, look, we had such an attack on American exceptionalism during the Obama years. I understood what he was doing. He was trying to say, hey, let's homogenize America. Let's join the global community. Let's save the planet. Everybody come on, healthcare. And it didn't work. It tore us down internationally. So Trump's come out uncomfortably saying, hey, we're great at what we do. And you know what? When I tell a kid he's great, if he's from a wounded family or the men that I work with in recovery, and I tell them again and again what's beautiful about him, they get strong. He's hated. It's like the anti-Semitic thing. It's like if you tell people that there's something really wonderful about it, it threatens everybody else. Hold your light on a hill. Don't hide it under a bucket. Trump brings that up in people.
Look, whatever. And shout out to Jimmy Stock watching. I do not want a government that can tell us all to stay inside, wear a mask. That said, I think we know masks work, and we've turned this pandemic into a blue and red thing. It's like you're either like, I refuse to do this stuff, or I'm going to do it resistantly, or I'm going to be California and we're going to run around like literally. I left California 3 weeks ago. It's night and day. It's like East Berlin and West Berlin, and back in the day before the wall fell. Like here in Florida, people are doing their best. People get sick. Again, everybody should think about this. The disease killed the weakest and the most vulnerable first. And that's why we had a high death count. And as the healthier population gets out, of course, you're going to have more cases, the surge in cases, but more people won't be, as many people won't be dying. So I'm all for living. I'm just frustrated, Judd, that I feel Trump would get farther and have more support if Trump supporters could acknowledge, yeah, look, he's super flawed and he does do this. And I wish he didn't, but here's why it's good. Instead of like, no, he's like,
why is that an issue? Why do we need, why are you going to a hardware store for milk, brother? I mean, why do we think that we're going to go get a narcissistic apology? I mean, the guy, look, the guy
is mac and cheese at the hardware store.
The guy is like, obsessive people tend to be highly successful. It's why a lot of people.
I know Steve Jobs, the whole thing. I know
1% of America, 9.24 million people have more than 419,000 a year or 1.5 net worth. Why? Because you have to put a certain energetic obsession on creating wealth or power or politics. Most of us, 58,000 between a man and a woman, across the nation. We're not a super high earning, but we're a prosperous country.
No, that's you. No, that's you, Judd. You're right. You're that same way. You're like, get on your thing and you won't back off. I'm a Libra. I try to see both sides. I want to be fair. And at least
following Trump, you're making a presumption about Trump that I'm uncomfortable with.
Oh, come on. I'm not making
I've eaten all my mac and cheese because of the attacks. No, I'm kidding.
I'm not. All right, listen, we're just about out of time. This is awesome. Should we bring Crafty up just to say hi, our producer back?
Yeah, let's bring up Bruce.
He put on a tie. Look, he put on his disco suit, is like disco, like, tuxedo jacket.
Yeah,
that's considered disco. Okay, yeah, news to me.
I like it. Actually, it's a single slip-on, Rob. It just the tie is attached to the accoutrement. It's perfect.
Does Bruce look like dressed that way? Does he look like a lefty or a righty? He looks kind of like a monk.
Let's
I hate to put people in boxes.
I hate to put people in boxes. There he is, full screen. Judd. I love that you left on that. I hate to put people in boxes. You know what? So do I. And I'm not putting you in a box. I'm not putting Crafty in a box. And I'm not even putting Trump in a box. I'm just calling it out and saying, let's be honest about what's happening.
You're realizing the meta conversation of America. I respect that, Rob. But I'm telling you, I go to people on the other side, in which I love the diametric pressure that creates freedom in America of left and right. I love Democrats. I love independents. I have no judgment. I just hope that they don't win because I'm looking at certain principles that I want over time, right? I love all Americans. But you're being a good voice to the people that are frustrated. But I think it's a little generalized, and that's media.
And it is. And just to say on that point of the boxes, I think it's important. In being here in Jacksonville, doing what I'm doing right now, Judd, I have to say, the thing I hear so often from Black leaders in this community and in the inner cities and people coming from the hood and all that, people who hate Donald Trump. I want to qualify that. What you hear them saying, you'll never hear on CNN, which is they don't think the BLM protests are accomplishing anything. They don't think Obama did anything for them. They think that police reform is necessary, but black on black violence is just as important. And some of them will come right out and say, all lives matter. We need to focus on that. So I'm saying the media narrative that puts people in a box, that if you're Black, you must think this way, this way, this way, is completely blown to shreds when I'm on the street talking to people. It doesn't fit in the narrow filtered box. And CNN will never show that. They'll never let you see that because that's how they keep us in boxes. So I'm not putting you in a box, Judd. And I'm not putting me in a box, and I'm not putting Crafty in a box. So, all right, give us back our screen. Give us back our screen.
Good to see it, Bruce. Good job, guys. He's amazing. Check out Bruce at Bruce's thing.
At Bruce at Crafty. Bruce at Kraft Macaroni.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it.
How about this? Right there.
Bruce Kraft, junior producer. Amazing job. Guys, super sharp. Thanks for coming on and letting us make this possible. No, Rob, this is interesting, and I think we should do this. Now, we're going to try. I think what we're going to do is we're going to do this over a different food each week.
Yeah,
so come back to our show. I'm telling you, don't get fat.
And people, as we get
Amy's vegan rice and cheese. Velveeta's never going to endorse you, but we're going for Amy.
As we get followers, to this show from our other shows. People can tell us what foods they want us to do
on the Food Network at midnight.
Like maybe we do hot dogs. We should have a political thing. And look, I love you, brother Judd. I love you. And And I love the insults. I gotta amp my insults up a little because I gotta get better at it.
Did I insult you? You're so sensitive.
I gotta take in your subtle way. I gotta learn to be like Trump. I gotta come up with names.
That's not it. That's the disconnect.
I gotta come up with a name for you, like Sleepy Joe, like that kind of a name. Like,
no.
Like,
we don't need to go there.
Like Muddy Judd. Muddy Judd. How about Muddy Judd?
Muddy Judd. That doesn't work. Hey, listen, here's the deal. Lying Judd, right? Because I lie about things. Lying Judd. Go ahead. I'm a sinner, I'm saved by grace, man. So listen, when it comes to surfing, I'll be like, yeah, I'm in the office. Surfers are notorious about telling white lies to get onto the water. So I'm going to work on that. Thank you, God. So listen, tell us what you're doing real quick in Jackson. Let's sign off, keep this thing shorter.
We'll get this off.
I'll tell you about what I'm doing, and then we'll say goodbye to our great audience.
All right, doing in Jacksonville. So I'm doing my live stream show. I've been moving it around the country. Rob Nelson Live. It's an interactive. I think it's really one of the most interactive shows on the web. We're building an audience, but it's super interactive. Stream like this on multiple platforms, and we get tons of people from Reddit, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all interacting with the show. And I have guests. And I'm looking for the common ground. I'm in Jacksonville doing something nobody else is doing. I'm not saying that to brag, but I wanted to pull together a community, an entire community, and say it's very racially divided, like much of America, the protests, the whole thing. So what? What happens next? What if you brought people together just to dialogue? Dialogue is an actual solution. If people who don't talk to each other are talking to each other, you start the path toward, and you say, I call them the awkward conversations, to start a path toward change. Change ain't going to happen when everyone's in their little Facebook boxes and groups. And we're doing a live stream event the 29th for 2 hours. It's going to be like a giant talk show, town hall community at a big high school gym, bringing members of the entire community together. And let's just have the actual dialogue we're all afraid to have. And it's that simple.
Yeah. I want to just say one thing on that. I think what's interesting is how do you have that dialogue without perpetuating victimhood? I mean, that's where the right would say is like, but I had a very, very erudite friend. He called me up the other day. He said, Judd, I refuse to bash the left. He said, the left has pushed through so many balanced policies it's not a simple right and left deal. I think this blow up of racial sensitivity was kind of like Me Too. It's like Me Too changed. It cooled off, but it changed the workplace. Yeah. I think what happened is great. Policing's more conscious, et cetera. But can we drop it when it adjusts into our society?
But that's my point.
Making it a victim game.
But that's my point. The point of the dialogue is to get past that narrative of the victimhood. That's my point. When you put people together and you see a person like you say, can we get past the victimhood? What will shock you is the black activist who says, and I've seen it in the rooms, who says, you're right. You know what? Black men are responsible for the choices they're making. We need to create a different message for black men. We're responsible for black on black violence. We're not victims. You start hearing multiple voices that we're not hearing. That's what dialogue does. Getting you, if you were in Jacksonville, Judd, I'd have you in there.
Yeah, no, I love it.
Lying Judd Dunning.
I'll give you my last promo thing. And I just want to say, Rob, this is a safe place for you because I know you you lean center left there. So this is a safe space for you to come and riff
center, baby. Center.
Yeah, I'm just kidding you. But this is, let it go, right? That's what we want to do. We don't want to put on faces. We don't want to put on a show. We just want to be two guys who love America. But let me tell you what's going on our end. I'll let you, and we'll sign off on our side. So my book, 13 and a half Reasons Why Not to Be a Liberal, is and How to Enlighten Others, which I think is an actual, our title is contentious, but it is a real ideological discussion. So it comes out on October 10th on Newsmax. Look for our book, and you can see us, as you can see Rob on Rob Nelson Live, which has been an amazing show. I'm really proud of you, buddy. It reminds me of back in the day for you. It is a good show. And then you can see Michael and I on Bullet Point Nation. We're going to film 2 shows today. We do 2 shows a week here, which is our channel as well. So thanks for putting up this show, Rob, and being the heart.
Your idea. I love it. Coming together. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. We'll do this every week. We'll see you next week. Talking smack over mac and cheese.
All right.